The White Swan Inn was the last place Leo, 3rd Baron Warhurst, wanted to be on a Friday morning. He should have been at court, greasing the palms of the Queen's favourites, or better still, having a drink in the tap room. But no, thanks to the mess created by his siblings, he had gone to the Gracechurch Street Inn to speak to a seamstress. A bloody seamstress! He climbed the steps up to the wooden stage at the back of the cobbled inn-yard and lifted the curtain to peer into the tiring house beyond. Inside, several chests, some opened, occupied most of the floor space. A row of stools dotted one wall, and a central bench almost disappeared beneath piles of neatly folded costumes. A massive pair of wings made of feathers hung between 2 hooks, and what looked like a cauldron was slotted beneath the bench. The room was crowded, but not chaotic. Someone kept it orderly. Whoever it was, they weren't there. Leo squeezed the bridge of his nose. God, he was tired. He'd travelled like the devil for a week to reach London and not been able to sleep since. And now, the woman his brother had sent him to couldn't be found. He was about to release the curtain when he heard the swish of lush fabric, velvet perhaps, coming from behind what appeared to be an unhinged door propped up in the middle of the tiring house. Damnation! The voice, a woman's, came from behind the door screen. With language like that, she must be the one he sought. "Hail," he called out. "Is someone here?" A pale, heart-shaped face, topped with a tall hat, popped out from behind the door. "Oh, I didn't know I had company." "I'm sorry to startle you," he said. "You didn't. I'm simply surprised." He failed to see the difference and was about to say as much when she stepped out from behind the door, and his words were sucked away along with his breath. She couldn't be the seamstress. This lady wouldn't have been out of place at court, with her tall, slender frame, striking cheekbones, and imperious set to her shoulders. "Madam, I am Lord Warhurst." He bowed. She stepped forward, and the swish of her crimson gown was soon drowned out by the drumming of his heartbeat in his ears. Her simple movement had caused the exposed flesh above her too tight bodice to wobble most, delightfully. "Perhaps you could step a little closer," he said when she hesitated. "I would like to have a better look at your face." She did, with hands firmly on her hips, and stopped directly in front of him. "My face is above my neck, my lord." He glanced up and got an icy blast from a pair of pale blue eyes. He bowed again, partly to hide his embarrassment, and partly because it afforded him another view of her bounteous flesh. If God gave her a pair of luscious breasts like that, surely he meant for man to gaze upon them. Otherwise, why create such low-cut gowns? But on second glance, the gown seemed a little too low-cut for this lady. Although exquisitely made from what he could see, and certainly beautifully and expensively, embroidered in gold thread, it was a poor fit. "If you were looking for the players, then I'm afraid they're not here," she said. Although her glare was still cool, her mouth curved into an intriguing smile. "You are all alone here, my lady." He could have bitten off his tongue after the words tumbled out. He sounded like a villain assessing the likelihood of having his wicked way with a defenseless woman. "Lady?" She blinked at him, then looked down at her sleeves, the crimson velvet slashed to reveal the gold of the lining beneath. "Oh." He frowned. She had not seemed to grasp the crude yet unintentional meaning of his question, thankfully, but why was such a woman alone in the tiring house? What gentleman would allow his wife, sister, or daughter to fend for herself at, of all places, an inn, and a theatre at that? Guilt twisted his stomach at the similarity to his own situation, but he cast it off. It was too late for guilt. Besides, his sister's pregnancy was not his fault, although it was a weight that had landed on Leo's shoulders like a canker. He needed to remove it before any chance of restoring the honour of the Warhurst title was lost forever.